Like so many others, I had become a slave to the IKEA nesting instinct.
Yes, I'd like to order the Erica Picari dust ruffles.
If I saw something clever, like a little coffee table in the shape of a yin-yang, I had to have it. The Klipsk personal office unit, the Hovatrek home Exerbike.
Have you ever noticed how buying a Stanley Cup isn't just buying a cup? It's buying into a lifestyle. It's not just about hydration, it's about fitting into a soft, pastel-coated world of productivity, wellness, and quiet luxury. Or think about stepping into a Aritzia store. The minimalist tones, the carefully curated playlists, the uniform elegance of every shopper. It doesn't feel like retail. It feels like a ritual. There's something almost spiritual, almost religious, about how we interact with brands now. What used to be a simple consumer exchange has turned into something deeper, more emotional, and arguably more performative. From Glossier's iconic pink bubble wrap pouches to the weekly frenzy around crumble cookie drops. We're no longer just purchasing products, we're subscribing to belief systems. Brands today don't sell things, they sell identities. And we, as consumers, willingly buy in. Not just with our money, but with our personalities. Brand loyalty has evolved into a kind of modern devotion. Today, consumption isn't about the thing, it's about the vibe, the community, the curated aesthetic it allows us to project. In this video, we're diving deep into why every brand feels like a cult now. We'll explore the rise of aesthetic consumption and how branding has shifted from utility to lifestyle. We'll look at the historical roots of cult-like branding, from the grandeur of early department stores to the sleek devotion around Apple. We'll unpack how social media has turned everyday consumers into brand evangelists. And finally, we'll explore the psychology behind why we want to belong to these consumer cults in the first place. Because at the end of the day, it's not just a water bottle, it's a belief system, and we're all a little more converted than we'd like to admit. The secret to youthful skin, strong nails, and healthy hair starts from within. Achieving radiant skin, strong nails, and healthy hair isn't just about using the right beauty products. It starts from within. As we age, our body naturally produces less of the key protein responsible for keeping your skin firm, our hair thick, and our nails strong. That's why so many people are turning to natural, science-backed solutions to restore and maintain their youthful glow. Rather than relying on expensive creams or salon treatments, they're focusing on replenishing this essential protein to enhance their beauty from inside out. And no, it's not about chasing the latest beauty trend or stocking up on expensive serums. The real secret lies in collagen, a protein that naturally declines as we get older, but plays a crucial role in maintaining skin elasticity, hair strength, and nail health. Studies have shown that adding collagen to your daily routine can help minimize the appearance of fine lines and wrinkles and support skin hydration, strengthens brittle nails, and even promotes fuller, shinier hair. Many people notice a difference in as little as 2 weeks, making it one of the easiest and most effective ways to maintain youthful, healthy appearance. For everyone watching, there's an exclusive offer, up to 45% off this high-quality, beauty-boosting collagen formula. You can check it out with the link in my pinned comment and description box. With over 8,000 5-star reviews, more than 5 million jars sold, and a full 365-day money-back guarantee, there's absolutely no risk in giving this collagen a try. If you're looking for a simple way to support your natural beauty from the inside out, now is the time to take advantage of the special offer, so don't forget to visit getnativepathcollagen.com/LauraJane. And with this link in my pinned comment, you will get 45% off and free shipping before the deal ends. And now let's jump back into the main video. Chapter 1, the age of aesthetic consumption, when branding becomes identity. Let's begin with what I call the age of aesthetic consumption. A cultural shift where the things we buy are no longer just functional or luxurious, but curated to communicate a highly specific vibe. Today, a product isn't just an object, it's an aesthetic statement. Whether it's a beige Stanley Cup tucked into a Lululemon belt bag, a lineup of minimalist skincare from The Ordinary, or a bright pink crumble cookie box perched on a marble countertop. These items are made to be seen, photographed, and shared. They don't just work, they say something about you. What you consume has become a shorthand for who you are. Social media, particularly TikTok, has supercharged this shift. The algorithm favors beauty, harmony, and repetition, clean lines, soft lighting, and satisfying aesthetic routines. Brands have caught on, crafting their visual identity to fit seamlessly into a perfect curated feed. It's not enough for a lip gloss or a face mist to function. It has to sparkle in a get ready with me video, or complete a color-coded shelfie. Packaging is optimized for flat lays, unboxings, and viral trends. That's why everything from deodorant to dish soap now comes in blush tones and minimalist fonts, designed not just for your bathroom, but for your camera roll. But let's not pretend this is entirely new. Back in the 50s, Madison Avenue advertisers understood the power of visual storytelling. Cereal boxes didn't just promise breakfast, they promised domestic bliss. Cold cream ads didn't just sell smooth skin, they sold romance, confidence, and a sense of modern womanhood. Products have always been aspirational. What's changed is the personal scale. Instead of aspiring to a generalized ideal, we're now buying into micro-identities, being a clean girl, vanilla girl, or the ever-elusive that girl. These aesthetics are carefully constructed archetypes, and every product within them serves as a symbolic piece of that lifestyle. I mean, I love the show Mad Men, and some of my favorite parts are when Don Draper's doing those sales pitches for all those vintage products. And this obsession with aesthetic consumption doesn't just stop at beauty or fashion. It bleeds into nearly every area of life. The type of planner you use, the color of your Stanley cup, the brand of your matcha mix, even the fonts on your water bottle, all signal your vibe, your tribe, and ultimately your worth. On one hand, it feels empowering to curate your life with intention. On the other, it raises an unsettling question. Are we buying what we truly want? Or what we've been told fits the role we want to play? So here's something to think about. Have you ever bought something not because you needed it, or even really loved it, but because it just looked right in your life, your room, or on your feed? Would you still want it if no one could see it? And it is true. I feel like a lot of people buy certain skincare products because of the aesthetic. But it's like, if we didn't have social media, would they all be buying those same products? Chapter 2, Brands as Belief Systems, the new religion of consumerism. Why do brands today feel so eerily similar to religions? It's because they offer many of the same core elements: identity, community, and ritual. These three pillars once rooted people in spiritual traditions, family units, and cultural institutions. But in a digital, hyper-commercialized world where traditional structures are weakening, brands have stepped in to fill the void. They aren't just selling products, they're selling belief systems. Let's start with identity. In the past, people may have defined themselves by their religion, political affiliation, or family lineage. Now it's by what they consume. You're not just someone who shops at Lululemon, you're a Lululemon girl. You carry a smoothie in one hand or pastel leggings in the other, and post about your hot girl walks on Instagram. You're not merely drinking a Alani Nu energy drink. You're signaling that you're a high-functioning girl boss chasing your goals. Brands like Skims, Aritzia, and Glossier offer curated identities that people adopt and wear like armor. What you buy is no longer separate from who you are. It is who you are. Then there's community. Brands today are not just about product loyalty. They're about a tribe formation. On TikTok and Instagram, there are entire fan bases dedicated to specific products. If you search Stanley Cup, you'll find not just reviews, but in-depth discussions about the color drops, lid designs, and collection hauls. Crumble Cookie fans analyze weekly flavors the way sports fans dissect playoff brackets. There are even people who consider themselves early adopters of certain brands, a phrase that sounds more like a religious calling than a shopping habit. These communities develop their own lexicons and jokes and rules, mirroring the social structures of faith-based or cult-like groups. It's about being in the know and participating in something bigger than yourself. And then there's the aspect of ritual. While it's arguably the most powerful piece, rituals give our lives rhythm, structure, and meaning, and brands have figured out how to mimic that. Think about your morning Starbucks run. It's not just caffeine, it's a sacred routine. Or the act of unboxing a Skims order, filming it, folding the tissue paper, tagging Kim in your story. It's a choreographed performance, a kind of consumer worship. Hair care routines with Opalex or skincare with The Ordinary become ceremonial moments of self-care. These aren't just tasks, they're practices of devotion. And just like lighting a candle or saying a prayer, they offer a moment of pause, a sense of control in a chaotic world. If this all sounds a little intense, it's worth remembering that this relationship between consumption and belief isn't new. In the early 20th century, department stores were the original temples of consumer culture. Take Selfridges in London or Macy's in New York. These were not just places to shop. These were destinations, complete with elaborate architecture, glass ceilings, velvet lounges, and afternoon tea rooms. The experience of shopping became an event, a kind of secular pilgrimage for the middle and upper classes. Much like a cathedral, these spaces inspired awe and reverence. Fast forward to today, and we see modern equivalents in places like the Glossier showroom, with its millennial pink walls and photo ops, or the pristine glass interior of an Apple store, where every item is placed with surgical precision. Even pop-up shops at fashion events or Instagram museums that revolve around a single product create immersive environments designed to foster emotional attachment. Shopping is no longer a necessity, it's an act of communion. When you step into these spaces, you're not just browsing, you're belonging. So here's something to reflect on. What brand do you feel most emotionally connected to? And is it about the product itself or the feeling it gives you, the community it invites you into, and the identity it helps you to perform? I mean, for me, I just like products that work. So if I use certain skincare products and it helps my skin, then I'm going to use it. Like, I've obviously bought in certain products I've seen online, but if I don't think it's a good product, I'm not going to buy it again based on like if it fits into like this certain identity I want to be, if that makes sense. Chapter 3, Social Media as the New Church, Worship in the Age of the Algorithm. If brands today function like modern day cults, then social media, especially TikTok, is their church. And the influencers, they're the preachers. They're spiritual leaders guiding us through rituals of consumption, offering us salvation in the form of lip oils, water bottles, and affiliate codes. This isn't advertising as we once knew it. It's devotion disguised as recommendation. The rise of influencer marketing has completely transformed the relationship between brands and buyers. What once felt like a one-way conversation from corporation to consumer has evolved into something far more persuasive. Now, everyday people act as brand evangelists, preaching the good word of their favorite Amazon dupes, Stanley Cup collections, and Sephora hauls. When someone on TikTok or Instagram says, "You need this," it doesn't feel like a sales pitch. It feels like a friend whispering a secret, a trusted confidant, letting you in on something sacred. That's the power of parasocial relationships. We don't just follow the creators, we feel like we know them. So when your favorite lifestyle YouTuber swears by summer Fridays, or your go-to TikToker insists that Rare Beauty's blush changed your life, you believe her. Because she's not a stranger. She's someone whose life you watch unfold daily, someone you relate to, aspire to, or simply admire. This is why social media has become such fertile ground for the spread of brand loyalty. The algorithm feeds us content that feels personal, targeted, and emotionally resonant. And when a product goes viral, it does so with religious fervor. It's not just a new lip gloss, it's a revelation. The hype cycle takes over. Everyone wants it, everyone's talking about it, and suddenly you need it too. It's FOMO meets faith. Scarcity only fuels the fire. Limited drops, sold out colors, wait lists, all of these create a sense of urgency that mimics the spiritual anxiety of missing out on a once-in-a-lifetime event. The psychological effect is real. If you don't act now, you'll be excluded from the communion of coolness, left outside the gates of a trend heaven. The rhythm of TikTok trends even mirrors the cadence of religious revivals. One person posts a video saying a product changed their life, and within hours, others flock to recreate the experience. Duets, reviews, get ready with me tutorials. It becomes a full-blown movement, complete with its own chants, run, don't walk, rituals, restock vlogs, and relics, the products itself. But like any spiritual awakening, it's fleeting. Just as fast as the Owala bottle appeared in your feed, it's replaced by the next holy grail item. The cycle resets and we the faith follow again. This phenomenon isn't new, as it seems. In the early 1900s, rural America saw the rise of tent revivals, mass gatherings where thousands would congregate, seeking healing and salvation and a sense of belonging. Preachers would travel from town to town, setting up makeshift churches under canvas roofs, stirring crowds into spiritual ecstasy with fiery sermons and emotional appeals. Today, we don't gather under tents, we scroll. The algorithm is our revival tent. TikTok is our pulpit. The prayers we offer are affiliate links, and the salvation we seek comes in the form of packages delivered to our door. This digital congregation isn't inherently bad. Sometimes it's joyful, like discovering a product that really does improve your life or feeling connected to a community of like-minded people. But it's also worth examining how easily we're swayed by social proof and emotionally storytelling. How quickly "this changed my life" becomes a personal mantra we borrow, often without question. So let's pause here for a moment of reflection. Have you ever just bought something just because it was all over TikTok? Did it live up to the hype? Or were you just looking for something, anything to believe in for a moment? Chapter 4, The Psychology of Belonging, Why We Crave Brand Loyalty. So why do we fall for this? Why do seemingly simple objects like a water bottle, a lip gloss, or a pair of leggings wield such emotional power over us? Why do brands feel like safe havens, like tribes we pledge allegiance to? The answer lies in something deeply human, our innate need to belong. We are social creatures, wired to seek connection and recognition. But in an era defined by rising loneliness, digital isolation, and fractured identities, that need has become more urgent and more difficult to fulfill. As traditional communities like religious congregations, extended families, and even workplace culture has weakened, brands have stepped in to fill the gap. They offer something that feels increasingly rare: stability, clarity, and identity. In a world of uncertainty, a brand becomes a shorthand for who we are, or at least who we want others to believe we are. Psychologists call this identity signaling, the way we use visual cues to communicate aspects of our personality, status, and values. In adolescence, we might have chosen bands or subcultures, emo, preppy, or grunge, to say, "this is who I am." As adults, those same impulses don't disappear. They just morph into something more socially acceptable signals. We become Glossier girls, REI adventurers, or Apple purists. Our brands do the talking for us. Carrying a certain cup, using a specific skincare line, or wearing a particular logo quietly broadcasts your alignment with a cultural tribe. It says, "I know the code and I belong here." And this isn't just about vanity or consumerism, it's about identity formation in late-stage capitalism, where the self is often constructed not through introspection or creativity, but through consumption. In this landscape, who you are is increasingly defined by what you buy. You're not just someone who likes iced coffee, you're a Dunkin' girl or a Starbucks girl. You don't just wear workout clothes, you're an Aloe girl, a Gymshark loyalist, or a Lululemon purist. These aren't just preferences, they're personal brands. They've been aestheticized and monetized to the point that your choices signal your belonging more than your beliefs do. And historically, this mirrors the rise of utopian communities in the 19th century. Groups like the Shakers and the Oneida community, or even transcendentalists at Brook Farm, weren't just reacting to religious or economic upheaval. They were trying to build new, meaningful ways to live. They formed tight-knit communities and shared values, aesthetics, rituals, and lifestyles. In many ways, they were reacting to the alienation and chaos of industrialization by creating microcosms of order, beauty, and purpose. Sound familiar? Today's brand-based micro-identities function similarly. In response to the disorienting pace of modern life, we gravitate toward brands that offer us ready-made structures of meaning. A $40 Stanley Cup isn't just a drinking vessel. It's a visual cue for discipline, self-care, calmness, and the elusive sense of having your life together. And there's something undeniably comforting about this. When you walk into a room carrying a hydro flask or wearing a Skims bodysuit, you're signaling your belonging to a world that feels both aspirational and familiar. You don't have to explain yourself. The brand does it for you, but there's also a flip side. When your identity becomes something you purchase rather than something you build, what happens to authenticity? Are we becoming more connected through shared aesthetics, or more commodified, just characters in a brand story? So let me ask you, do you think branding helps us feel more seen, more connected, or does it reduce us to market segments, turning our search for belonging into just another transaction? I mean, I think a lot of it is subconscious based on like who you follow and like things you like, but I don't even think for the most part we even realize what we're buying into certain things based on aesthetic. Chapter 5, when the cult turns to culture, living the brand. It's easy to roll our eyes at all this and say, seriously, we're worshipping mugs and leggings now? It might seem ridiculous on the surface, but the idea that a Stanley Cup or Skims bodysuit could carry emotional, even spiritual significance. But mockery misses the point, because the truth is, brands have always shaped culture, from the rise of Coca-Cola in the early 20th century to Nike's Just Do It ethos defining a generation. What's changed isn't that we're influenced by brands, it's that the relationship has become so deeply personal. We don't just wear logos anymore, we live them. Our skincare routines are tied to brand identities. Our coffee order is a performance of self. Even the water bottle we carry has become a statement about our values, productivity, and social alignment. Branding has permeated the fabric of our daily rituals, our landscape, and even our aspirations. There is no longer a clean line between the consumer and the consumed. We are both. It's no longer just a brand you love, it's a brand you are. And that's where things get complicated. When branding infiltrates every corner of our identity, it becomes increasingly difficult to draw the line between personal taste and corporate influence. Where do you and the brand begin? The danger lies in the outsourced identity, when your self-worth becomes tied to whether you manage to snag the latest drop or whether your life is aesthetic enough to match the curated image projected by the products you use. The moment you feel like you're failing because you didn't get the viral product or you don't fit into the aesthetic tribe it represents is the moment when consumption becomes emotional labor. What's more, when the communities we form around brands are built solely on consumption, they can feel hollow, especially when the trend fades. If your sense of belonging is built entirely around buying the right things, what happens when those things go out of style? Or worse, when you can't afford them anymore? Consumer-based community is inherently fragile, always shifting with the tides of trend cycles and economic access. And yet, there's also something very human buried in all of this. Our obsession with brands reveals a deeper yearning for meaning, beauty, and connection. We're not just buying things, we're trying to ground ourselves in a chaotic, overstimulated, and uncertain world. In some ways, aesthetic consumption is a coping mechanism. It gives shape and color to our lives. It helps us build micro worlds that feel calm, curated, and in control, even if just temporarily. So maybe the solution isn't to reject branding altogether, but to approach it consciously, to enjoy the ritual of a skincare routine without letting it define your worth, to appreciate the community around a product without losing your individuality within it. In other words, to consume mindfully with awareness, intention, and a willingness to ask, is this brand enhancing my life or just replacing a piece of myself? So what do you think? Is there a way to enjoy the fun and comfort of branding without completely losing ourselves to it? Can we be in the cult without being consumed by it? So why does every brand feel like a cult now? Because in a time when traditional institutions like religion, family, and even stable communities have become less central in many people's lives, we've found new rituals in the marketplace. We've replaced sermons with skincare routines, pilgrimages with product drops, and spiritual identity with lifestyle branding. What we used to seek from sacred places, meaning, order, connection, we now seek from the perfectly curated aisles of Target, or the calming scroll of an influencer's Amazon favorites. In this new cultural framework, branding doesn't just sell us things, it sells us a way to be. The deeper truth is that brands have grown more than influential. They've become emotional infrastructure. They help us feel seen in a noisy world. They offer comfort through their consistency and identity through their aesthetics. They give us community when other forms of togetherness feel fractured. It's no wonder they've taken on such a spiritual quality. But there's a risk in this devotion. When brands become our primary source of belonging, we tether our self-worth to trends, algorithms, and the highs and lows of the market. The search for self becomes a shopping habit. But here's the good news. Awareness is power. We don't have to completely unplug or renounce our favorite brands to resist their pull. We just need to participate consciously. You can love your Stanley Cup for what it is, a well-designed functional water bottle, without believing it completes your identity. You can film your get ready with me using viral makeup without letting it define your sense of self. We can appreciate the beauty and joy of these small rituals while still recognizing that they're not replacements for deeper, more lasting forms of connection. The key is to ask yourself not just what you're consuming, but why. Are you buying something because it speaks to who you already are, or because it's offering you someone to become? We can be in the cult without being lost in it. So let's talk about it. Let me know in the comments below, what brand do you think has the most cult-like following today? And have you ever felt like you were a part of one, even for a little while? And honestly, like, this was like a long time ago, in like 2005, 2006, I worked at Lululemon when I was living in Toronto, like hemming pants. And I swear, like, that place, this was back then, so this is a long time ago, but I felt like it was such a cult. They would like make us go to like seminars and stuff working there. Like, I had to quit because I feel like I'm just the type of person that I can't be like, I'm kind of like rebellious in a way. I don't like getting suckered into like brainwashing and like the mass formation psychosis of things, that I like always question things more. Like, I know a lot of people also do this. I swear ever since like 2020, when all that crap went down, like, I feel like I question things more than I did like before it. So let me know in the comments below, what are your thoughts on all this branding? I mean, the crumble cookie thing seems crazy to me. We don't have one where I live. I think there's one in Vancouver. I mean, I would definitely try it. I mean, those cookies look like massive and like really sweet too. So I don't know. It's a crazy world out there. Let me know in the comments below.